Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about this topic. Today we are going to go into the motivation. I'm going to offer some insights on all the motivations, and I'm going to share some personal insights with my own motivation in human design, which is hope motivation, and share how much experimenting with it has helped me navigate into alignment with ease. And yeah, we're gonna get into all that good stuff. But first and foremost, how are you doing? I hope all is well. I know times I can't even I can't even sugarcoat it anymore. It's like reality isn't reality sometimes. And I guess this is what the North Node in Pisces is giving. But you good? These days, the way I've been making sure I stay sane is to just stay tuned into my own energy, not allowing anything externally to affect my core energy. And I'm not going to sit here and act like there haven't been times when I did feel a bit intense, a bit overwhelmed, a bit uncomfortable with certain current events these days. But I don't like to stay in that energy for too long. I acknowledge it. I feel my feels, and I always look towards the broader side of things. And I would just remind myself that when a lot of great things are born out of chaos. And as horrible as things may look sometimes, and how frustrating life can get, I keep reminding myself that it's only fallen into place for the best, regardless of how the process is. And that's a lot of what we had to talk about today. Process. One of the major things with human design for me is learning how to experiment a different way of living. A way with living that aligns with me, my unique design. I believe that not all advice is a one size fits all. Not everybody receives the same advice. Not everybody has the same way of looking at life. Not everybody is made up the same. So what I may be telling a group of people may be far different than what I'm telling another group, based off of how they perceive life, what their unique makeup is, and what purpose they came to fulfill in this lifetime. So one of the biggest keys for me, along with the strategy, along with the authority, along with knowing your energy type in human design, is motivation. I feel like it is the ultimate cheat sheet, the cheat code, like the ultimate. It's like it gives you that oomph. You know how you cooking and you got to add that good seasoning to make sure the meal it just fulfills you, is satisfied with the meal. That's what I feel like motivation is in human design. And I feel like it is very crucial that we take a look into it. Like after a while, when you're done studying your energy type, you understand that you're a projector, you understand that you're a manifesting generator and all that. You figured out your authority, your strategy. You experimented with that for some time. Once you add the motivation, it's kind of like just the complete sauce of this whole thing. And it also helps you navigate easily on this journey towards alignment, on this journey towards success and happiness and fulfillment. So motivation in human design, right? Motivation in human design helps you understand and align with your natural way of thinking, of seeing and perceiving the world, which for the most part is not blocked by fear, self-limiting beliefs, and any kind of limitation. It influences what you go after, how you seek it, and it plays a major part when it comes to creating our reality. Here's why. Choices. Our choices create our reality, right? The motivation is tied to the choices that you make. And once you learn whether you're in alignment or not with these choices, it's like you open up this Pandora box. It's like you open up this way for you to make sure that your choices turn out to be successful, turn out to be the best for you, because your intentions were in alignment with the desires. This is basically the process of the decision making. How are you making these decisions? Are they based on fear? Are they based off alignment? And the best way to know your alignment versus when you're not in alignment is to take a look at your motivation and take a look at the transference of that. We have 6 motivations, and that is fear, that is hope, that is desire, that is need, and that is guilt and innocence. And each motivation has their own transference for you to align and know when you are making a decision out of fear versus what you truly feel to be true to you. Now let's just get into the thick of it. First up, we have fear motivation. Fear motivation is your desire to solve and fix problems in the most practical way. So whenever you have a task coming up and it's coming from a place of, I need to fix this, I need to solve this, and you're strategizing and doing what you need to do to get there, you know that you're in alignment. Now, when you're not in alignment, which means when you're in transference, you are going to be in innocence. Innocence motivation is really where you're not taking responsibility of the problems that you do see. You would rather take the step back and allow someone else to come take over and do that. Like, you run away from, or you shy away from the practical work, actually doing something about it. You may have a fear that you're not able to solve something, even though you may quite do, because you're a natural problem solver. Your problem solving skills aren't efficient enough to create the best outcome. It's the fear where you feel paralyzed even though you know the steps to take, versus, whoa, your alert is going off and you're able to see something that needs to be done, and you're willing, regardless of how the outcome is, you're willing to take those steps to get it, right? So when it comes to moving out of transference with fear motivation, you could ask yourself questions. We all should ask ourselves questions. We should actually practice that. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, asking yourself questions. Like, ask yourself, is this something that I need to address right now? And do I believe I could fix it? Boom. Once you know that you're able to do this thing and you feel really confident about it, go ahead. And that's when the authority strategy comes in, and you make your choices based off of that. So, like, this is how you add all the layers of human design to make sure you're experimenting it the best way. Hope motivation. I am also hope motivation. And before I even go into it, this motivation has been the most for me, especially because I guess I'm experiencing it, so I could be honest and share that it was so hard, and it still kind of is some days, to surrender to it. Surrender to the fact that it allowed my mind to grasp that I don't need to do it all. My mind for so long could not understand that life can happen without me doing, because 1 + 1 = 2. In order for something to come up, I have to be. But it got to the point where I have felt like it was overriding my faith. Like, I would chant affirmations and mantras, and I would talk about all these things that I believe could happen for me, but my actions, my actions were showing total opposite. My actions were saying, girl, you don't have that much faith. For a long time, I didn't believe that, my spirit team could come through for me. God is coming through for me. Like, I could leave and bear this over to God. because I always felt like in order for things to work out, it was on me. And I was pressured to fix things, and I also felt called to force certain outcomes the way I, in my mind, imagined, which for the main part, it led me down some path that I could have easily avoided. I would overwork and all that. So for a while, I have been in transference. I have been in guilt motivation. I have felt shame, and I may have tasked myself whenever I felt like I was having issues or problems and I was the cause for it. That's when I would go overboard and feeling like I did this. I need to fix this, and not allowing the universe to come through for me, even when I done prayed. Whoo, child. But I am working on it now. I have totally been experimenting with just deconditioning my mindset. And this goes for all motivations. The mindset, like deconditioning. And actually being very intentional about my thoughts. Noticing when they would come up, the ones that was fear, self-limiting thoughts, and challenging them. Sometimes you gotta really challenge your own self. You gotta challenge your ego. You gotta be like, yo, shut up sometimes, please. Because you're so used to a certain way of living. People will talk about it. People will talk about how they're manifesting this, manifesting that, because they repeated these things and they barely lifted a finger. And I would be like, it was just so hard to believe. Like, what do you mean? And when I say, like, with Hope Motivation, we don't have to do much, we should give the universe opportunity to come through for us. It does not mean that we should do nothing at all. I just feel like we should lean more in faith, and our actions, the steps that we're taking, is a reflection of that faith. Is a reflection of, I feel called to do this. I feel great about it, passionate about it. Spirit put it on my heart to do it, so I'm gonna do it. Versus, I need to do this because if I don't do this, this is not coming through for me. And then you start worrying or overthinking, overwhelming yourself. It's a different energy. So yes, Hope Motivation, it's basically having that trust in the bigger picture, trusting and having faith that life is happening for you the best way it can, and you don't have to force outcomes because everything will align. Versus your transference, when you're in guilt motivation, that is when you feel overly responsible to fix things, and if you feel like you're not doing enough, you're hard on yourself, you're slumping, you're having shame, and it's hard for you to surrender the control. Like, you're literally trying to control every step of the way. You know how tiring that has been? I have spent majority of my life being that way. Because for so long, I felt like surrendering was just too close to not doing shit. And I come from a generation of people who felt like if you're not doing, especially if you look like you're not doing shit, you're lazy as hell, you're helpless. Like, it's just all negative. So for so long, I kept connecting rest. I kept connecting, pausing and sitting down and allowing the downloads to come to me before I move and make a move. I've been connecting it to something negative, or like making myself like I felt so guilty for doing it, because girl, the amount of time you just sitting down here doing nothing, you could have been doing this and that. And this motivation trips you up. I'll talk about it more later, but if that really connected with you, I feel you. Just know I feel you. So the best way to make sure you are in alignment with your Hope Motivation is to, like all motivations, lean into your authority, lean into the strategy. How do you feel? Who invited you to the situation? What are you responding to? Have you initiated this? Do you just feel aligned enough for you to even make a move right now? Like, pause and ask yourself, am I acting out of fear, or am I moving with trust and faith that this is working out? Am I doing this thing because I feel like nothing else will work out, or am I doing this thing because I simply want to do it and I enjoy it? And that will give you some clarity on whether you are moving in alignment. And just practice surrender. I just feel like this is the best time to just, when you're experimenting with this motivation, this is the best time to just practice surrendering to it. So yeah, home motivation, there you go. You guys get a bit longer because I have it, so I'm a bit biased.